Story 1 of 9. ISIS-linked Australian women and children return home, face arrests and charges. ISIS-linked Australian women and children return home, face arrests and charges. Here's what every outlet agrees on. 4 women, Kauza Abbas, Zainab Ahmed, Zura Ahmed, and Janae Safar, and 9 children arrived in Australia from Syria on May 7, 2026, via flights from Doha to Melbourne and Sydney. Kauza Abbas, 53, and Zainab Ahmed, 31, were arrested at Melbourne Airport and charged with crimes against humanity, including enslavement, possessing a slave, using a slave, and slave trading, with each offence carrying a maximum penalty of 25 years imprisonment. Janae Safar, 32, was arrested in Sydney and charged with entering a declared conflict zone and being a member of a terrorist organisation, each offence carrying a maximum penalty of 10 years imprisonment. The group left the Ulroj detention camp in Syria on April 24, 2026, and were stuck in Damascus for nearly 2 weeks before flying to Australia. The Australian Federal Police, AFP, have been preparing for the return of ISIS-linked individuals since 2015, with investigations into potential terrorism and crimes against humanity offences. But not all outlets told the same story. The Australian government claims it has not assisted the group in returning to Australia, but the Syrian government says the Australian government refused to receive them, causing a delay in their departure. The coalition claims the Albanese government has not used all available powers to prevent the group from returning, while the government insists it has done everything possible within legal limits. Some sources report that the group was turned back from Damascus Airport due to Australian government refusal, while others say the group left the camp and were delayed in Damascus before flying to Australia. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, SBS News, Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. Story 2 of 9. Royal Commission into Antisemitism and Bondi terror attack investigation. Royal Commission into Antisemitism and Bondi terror attack investigation. Here's what every outlet agrees on. The Bondi terror attack occurred on December 14, 2025, during a Hanukkah celebration, killing 15 people and injuring over 40 others. The attackers were named Akram, 24, charged with 59 offences including 15 counts of murder and 1 of terrorism, and his father Sajid Akram, 50, shot dead at the scene. The Royal Commission on Antisemitism and Social Cohesion released an interim report on April 30, 2026, with 14 recommendations, 5 of which are confidential. The Jewish Community Security Group, CSG, warned NSW police on December 8, 2025, that the security threat level for the Jewish community was high and a terrorist attack was likely. NSW police were told to send a car crew or 2 to the Bondi Hanukkah event but were not required to stay for the entire duration, despite CSG's request for full coverage. But not all outlets told the same story. The SMH and ABC state that NSW police did not produce a written risk assessment for the Chanukah by the Sea event, but NSW Police Commissioner Mal Lanyon insists a risk assessment was undertaken. The ABC and Guardian note that the interim report found no legal or regulatory gaps that impeded authorities from preventing the attack, while the SMH states that the report found no urgent or immediate action was needed but did not explicitly rule out systemic failures. The SMH and ABC report that the Jewish Community Security Group requested police resources for the entirety of the event, but NSW police stated they received no specific request for dedicated police resources, per Newscomer. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, and Sydney Morning Herald. Story 3 of 9. Tennis players protest French Open prize money and demand reforms. Tennis players protest French Open prize money and demand reforms. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Jannik Sinner and Aryna Sabalenka are leading players expressing disappointment over French Open prize money, calling for a boycott if demands are not met. Players demanded a 22% share of tournament revenue, but the French Open offered only a 9.5% increase in prize money to €61.7 million, $100.3 million, for 2026. Players' share of Roland Garros revenue declined from 15 points. The French Open is scheduled to begin on May 24th, or May 18th, as per one source, with the Italian Open starting this week, May 4th to 6th. Novak Djokovic praised Arina Sabalenka's leadership in the dispute and supported the player's stance, calling for tennis reform. But not all outlets told the same story. Article 1, ABC, states the French Open begins on May 18th, while Articles 2 and 3, ABC and Guardian, say it starts on May 24th. Article 1, ABC, reports the prize money increase as 9.5% to €61.7 million, $100.3 million, while Article 3, ABC, states $100.7 million for the same increase. Article 1, ABC, mentions Djokovic signed the letter to Grand Slam organizers last year, but The Guardian states he did not sign the latest joint statement. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian. Story 4 of 9. Jonas Vingegaard targets Giro d'Italia 2026 Grand Tour victory amid key absences. Jonas Vingegaard targets Giro d'Italia 2026 Grand Tour victory amid key absences. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Jonas Vingegaard is the overwhelming favorite to win the 2026 Giro d'Italia, having won the 2022 and 2023 Tour de France. The 2026 Giro d'Italia starts in Nesibar, Bulgaria, on May 8, 2026, with the race finishing in Rome on May 31, 2026. Tadej Pogačar, the 2024 world champion and dominant rider, is absent from the 2026 Giro d'Italia. The 2026 Giro d'Italia features 3,468 kilometers and over 48,000 meters of climbing, including 5 summit finishes. Egan Bernal, the 2021 Giro winner, is a rider for Netcompany Ineos and will compete in the 2026 Giro. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian states the 2026 Giro includes 49,000 meters of climbing, while ABC states 48,000 meters. The Guardian mentions a €20 million, £17.2 million, annual boost from Netcompany to Ineos, but ABC does not reference this financial detail. The Guardian describes the stage 10 time trial as over 40 kilometers, while ABC specifies it as 42 kilometers. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian. Story 5 of 9. 9 entertainment sound recordist dies in Bali holiday accident. 9 entertainment sound recordist dies in Bali holiday accident. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Chris Ando Anderson, a Brisbane-based sound recordist for Nine's *A Current Affair*, died in a suspected medical episode while on holiday in Bali with his family, wife Charlotte, son Otis, and parents-in-law, on Wednesday, May 7, 2026. 9 Entertainment confirmed Anderson's death via an all-staff email sent by CEO Matt Stanton on Thursday, May 8, 2026, expressing condolences to his family and colleagues. Anderson had worked for *A Current Affair* for nearly 18 years, with Nine's executive director of news and current affairs, Fiona Deer, describing his longevity as a testament to his talent and industry respect. The cause of death remains under investigation by doctors, with both sources describing it as likely some kind of medical episode. This story was covered by Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. Story 6 of 9. U.S. Trade Court blocks Trump's 10% global tariffs under 1974 Trade Act. U.S. Trade Court blocks Trump's 10% global tariffs under 1974 Trade Act. Here's what every outlet agrees on. A U.S. Court of International Trade ruled 2-1 against Donald Trump's 10% universal tariffs on imports, citing lack of justification under Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974. The tariffs were imposed on February 24, 2026, and were set to expire on July 24, 2026, under a 150-day provision. The ruling applies only to the plaintiffs, small businesses, and does not block tariffs for other importers until July 24, 2026. Trump invoked Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974 to justify the tariffs, citing trade deficits and dollar depreciation risks. The Supreme Court struck down Trump's broader 2025 tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act in February 2026. But not all outlets told the same story. ABC states the tariffs were imposed in February 2026, while Guardian does not specify the exact date but confirms they took effect on February 24, 2026. ABC mentions a panel of judges ruling 2-1, while Guardian refers to the court ruling 2-1 with one judge calling the victory premature for plaintiffs. ABC notes the dissenting judge found the law allowed the president more leeway on tariffs, while Guardian does not detail the dissent's specific reasoning. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian. Story 7 of 9. Julie Bishop resigns as ANU Chancellor amid governance controversies. Julie Bishop resigns as ANU Chancellor amid governance controversies. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Julie Bishop resigned as Chancellor of the Australian National University, ANU, effective immediately on May 8, 2026. Bishop held the ANU Chancellor role since 2020 and was due to finish her term in December 2026. Bishop described the ANU as a truly national treasure in her resignation statement. Bishop expressed concern about unprecedented and coordinated interference and regulatory overreach by TEXA in her resignation statement. The ANU is facing multiple inquiries into its governance issues, including by the Tertiary Education Quality and Standards Agency, TEXA. But not all outlets told the same story. ABC states Bishop's resignation was effective immediately, while Newscomow does not specify the exact effective date beyond her stepping down 7 months early. This story was covered by ABC News and news.com.au. Story 8 of 9. Guide to airline seat selection and comfort for travelers. Guide to airline seat selection and comfort for travelers. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Singapore Airlines and Cathay Pacific wide-body jets have an economy-class seat pitch of at least 81 centimeters. Qatar Airways' older Airbus A380s, A330s, and A340s have an economy-class seat pitch of 81 to 84 centimeters. No economy-class seat aboard an Emirates wide-body aircraft has a pitch of less than 81 centimeters, with some A380s and Boeing 777s offering 86 centimeters. Japan Airlines Boeing 787-8s have an economy-class seat pitch of 84 centimeters. Japan Airlines flies most of its Boeing 787s with 8 economy seats per row in a 242 configuration, with seat width of 48 centimeters. But not all outlets told the same story. The articles are identical in content and do not contain any contradictions or conflicting information. This story was covered by Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. Story 9 of 9. Solomon Islands PM Jeremiah Manele ousted in no-confidence vote, new leader to be chosen. Solomon Islands PM Jeremiah Manele ousted in no-confidence vote, new leader to be chosen. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Jeremiah Manele was voted out of office as Solomon Islands Prime Minister on the 7th of May, 2026 after a no-confidence motion passed 26 to 22. 26 MPs voted against him in a 50-seat parliament. Peter Chanel Agavaka, a former foreign minister who abandoned Manele's government, is a leading candidate to replace Manele as Prime Minister. Matthew Whale, the long-term opposition leader, is also a likely candidate for the Prime Minister role. The no-confidence vote followed a 2-month legal process after Manele initially rejected the motion, leading to a High Court ruling that Parliament must reconvene by the 7th of May, 2026. Manele served as Prime Minister for 2 years before his ousting, succeeding Manasi Sogavare, who was known for a China-friendly stance. But not all outlets told the same story. The ABC states Manele rejected the no-confidence motion initially, triggering a 2-month legal process, while The Guardian describes it as a months of political uncertainty without specifying the exact timeline of his initial rejection. The ABC mentions Manele's government was devoid of any major controversies during his tenure, while The Guardian highlights corruption allegations and lack of transparency as key issues leading to his ousting. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian.